Hi channel and welcome back. This has been it's been a while now since I made some videos, and well, yeah, I've been sort of messing around with the sim and sort of messing things up, and I've been really playing a lot with the jumbo. And I made a video of that last week, and I went to sort of edit it because I had to split it in half because, you know. Anyways, things, but I don't. Anyways, I'm back. Today I have been really playing around with some really cool stuff in the sim, and I just want to show them to you. So hopefully I'll get this to work eventually. But what I've been doing is I've been playing around with this with what's it called, the live traffic add-on that someone has created. I don't think it's quite prime time yet, but man, does that look interesting, because it is so fun to turn into live ATC and actually see the planes and hear the air traffic control talking to them as you fly into big airports. However, there are some huge caveats, like after they land, the planes will disappear when they turn off their transponder, and they fill in the parking spots using some sort of random algorithm, so you see all kinds of weird planes where there should be, you know, non-weird planes. and so on and so forth. But in the air and on approach and on departure and taxiing around the airport, it's just perfect. The flight numbers match up and everything. It's really something. And I know that Ultimate Traffic is working on something, Flight 1 with who did Ultimate Traffic 2, and if they are, then I think that's gonna be awesome. Anyways, we are in Norway, and we are where we last landed at Torp. I've actually flown out of this place twice, recorded videos, but they were kind of boring, and the weather was terrible and you couldn't see anything, and I was having all kinds of issues, so I'm doing it again, and I'm doing it in this, my Kenny Powers skylane, which I love. The flight that we're gonna do is pretty short, but I might actually just go ahead and fly all the way up to Gardermoen if we feel like it, or if I feel like it. But the first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna leave Sandefjord Torp, and we're gonna go up to, there's an airfield around here, I think, called Jarlsberg. It's a really small airfield. It's kind of like a grass field. It's unlisted. And then we're going to cross over and go to Rygge, which is our airfield that's closest to Sweden. I think there might be some other small things down here, but I've never found them, and they're also unlisted. From Rygge, which is kind of been sort of, Rygge and Torp has been in this sort of like battle where they've been competing for customers from Oslo. As you can see, Rygge was a lot actually closer than Sandefjord, but Sandefjord is the only one that's still open and flying, and Rygge is closed down. There's no more flights from here, and the flights that used to go to Rygge are now going from Gardermoen. Even crappy carriers like Ryanair are flying out of Gardermoen. But anyways, so we're gonna check that out. Today was a beautiful day too, so I have the weather from earlier today in the sim, and yeah, hopefully that will be interesting. For those of you who have followed my channel, you know that this plane is having some real issues. We have worn brakes, we have worn tires, we have nose wheels that are having issues. So it'll be interesting to see if I'm gonna crash this plane or not, or if something's gonna break. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. I'm kind of hoping for it to eventually break. It's been like a good 20-30 flights now with this giving me error messages. Anyways, so at the beginning here I'm running Ultimate Traffic 2, which you know, is a great product. And later I'll see if I can switch over to the live traffic when we get to Gardermoen, if we get there. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Not much. I'll probably think of it. Yeah, parking brake should be on. Beacon can come on. Turn on the fuel pump. Get some pressure. Turn off the fuel pump. Crack the throttle. And we got it. Open the cowl flaps. Turn on the avionics. Nav light, strobe light. We can turn on the pitot heat, I think, because it's cold out. Yeah, I've also updated my PTA shaders. I keep playing with them. I updated to PTA tool 2.10 today, and the new Topat 1.5 preset. I really liked that preset earlier, so it's looking good. But I need to see later. I've had some issues with the runway, with like the landing lights using this preset. So I don't know if that's an actual issue or if that's just me. But anyway, so let's see here. So we are going from ENTO and we're going to somewhere in here, and let's create this this one, and it's called Echo November Juliet X-ray, and we'll create that. That's roughly there anyway, and then we're going to Rygge. So ENTO NJX ENRY. We'll see when we get there if we're gonna do anything else. Let's get the weather.
Echo November Tango Oscar Airport information. Echo 1220 Zulu weather wind calm visibility 10 sky clear temperature 1 dew point -5 QNH 1042 advise on initial contact. You have information.
Really high pressure today.
Echo November Tango Oscar Airport information. Echo 1220 Zulu weather wind calm visibility.
Calm winds.
Torp, ground, Cessna, November 905, Charlie Sierra, with Zulu, request taxi for takeoff, north departure. Cessna, November 905, Charlie Sierra, taxi to and hold short of runway 3, using taxiway Whiskey 3, Whiskey 2, Whiskey 1, contact tower on 11865 when ready. Taxi, hold short, runway 36, using taxiway Whiskey 3, Whiskey 2, Whiskey 1, Cessna 5, Charlie Sierra.
I just remembered I have an office chair. What? I'm sorry about that. Well, I'll take you outside while I secure my office chair. I have an office chair that's on wheels, and that's been giving me some issues when I'm trying to taxi, because I end up pushing the office chair instead of pushing the rudder pedals. But I got these cute little door stops. These are like semicircular, sort of half moon shape, kind of. I don't know how to better describe it. Kind of door stops that I stick under the wheels, and they lock me in quite well. That said, Skyline is kind of a beast to taxi, at least with. Maybe it's actually the load. Maybe it's the amount of people I have in here that's making it especially difficult to taxi. So this is kind of like a, you see this little glitch here, you have to sort of, it's a little zigzag of the taxiway here, like a chicane almost. I think I have talked about this airport at least slightly before. It's quite nice. It's Aerosoft's on the Fjord Torp. It's payware. I'm pretty happy with it personally, actually. I do have some weird sort of grass coming through the snow here, but that's not uncommon, and oftentimes it's a result, it seems, of some sort of conflict between Aerosoft projects and FTX Norway products. I'm not running ultimate traffic too.
Two initialized.
I thought that was weird. I thought that was weird how there were so few aircraft parked over there. That's it. Oh, whatever. It's time to go.
Horsepower.
Yeah, you see now I have some traffic, and some more over here too.
Cleared 1516. Cleared to Ylesburg Airport as filed. Fly runway heading. Climb and maintain.
Okay, fuel pump, come on.
Together, departure. Departure frequency is 13405. Squawk 717. Cleared 1516. Cleared to Ylesburg Airport as filed.
So
Runway heading. Climb and
push the nose down a little bit to
330 minutes.
grab some speed. I feel like it often lifts up before it's fully ready to fly, if you know what I mean. I'm trimming it way forward here. Trim, trim, trim. Trying to maintain that direction. Retracting the flaps. Look at that. Really like that preset. That's a good shader preset that I have going on here now. There's been so many changes I've been messing around with. I've also been messing around with a lot with Active Sky 16 that came out with an update. And I guess their update was concerning visibility. And specifically it was concerning visibility layers in the sim and volumetric fog. So I think they want you to have volumetric fog. If you have it turned on, they want you to have the visibility in Active Sky 16 set to 200 nautical miles, which makes for kind of a sort of rough transition. I'll show you. Which makes for a rough transition when you get to when you fly up high with like an airliner or something, because you see your clouds will end around like 100 miles and then the fog will sort of go from there. So I have it set to 111, even though that's not what they recommend. I'll have to experiment some more, but at the moment that's what I chose to do. I'm not sure if it's the smartest thing, but it's what I've done. So this is a really short flight. I think actually when you fly in and out of Jarlsberg, you like the cheese, you actually talk to the tower in Torp, because you're sort of in their way, as it were. You can see the airfield is actually over here, and if things go well here, we're just gonna do a quick landing and we're gonna taxi back down where we came from and take off again. Oh, it's Echo November Juliet Bravo. Okay, so made a little mistake there.
Echo November Juliet Bravo traffic. Cessna November 995 Charlie Sierra is on base runway 36. Echo November.
Let this get away from me a little bit. So we're gonna do we're not gonna be able to go straight in. We're gonna do a little right turn and then we're gonna do a left turn. Now we might not so far from where we need to be. Okay. Everything is still on here, I guess, but that's fine. We're not doing. We kind of need everything to be on. I think we're a little high, so I'm sort of doing an uncoordinated turn here. Do some drag. And we can do one flaps. and 2 flaps because we're in the wide arc. And that's good.
Echo November Juliet Bravo traffic. Cessna November 905 Charlie Sierra is on final runway 36 to land. Echo November Juliet Bravo.
Too low. Terrain. Terrain ahead.
Yeah, forget about this.
Too
This
low.
happened every.
Terrain.
I've been here
Terrain
3
ahead.
times
Terrain.
this week, as I told you, trying to record videos here, and that happens every time. Of course, she gets really annoyed with me for going into the ground,
500.
which I'm not. We're landing here. The reason I've been here so many times, by the way, is because I had a real conflict, scenery conflict with. This is a totally separate package from Airports of Norway, and that was conflicting with the Orbex scenery. Airports of Norway has really good excludes that they put in, so as long as it's above everything, it's fine, and it seems to work kind of seamlessly and without problem, even after updates and stuff. But this did not. So yeah, here we go. 80, 75. Come on, come on. Wait, oh, we're correcting here. Bigly, come on. Man, she's really pulling when I'm braking. It's hard to get her to brake. Without her pulling to the side, because only one of the brakes really works. That's what it seems like. I'll leave the mixture while we're on the ground here, so not to foul the spark plugs, as they say. So I'm gonna do a little bit of an illegal taxi here, but you know, I just want to show you the airfield. So I actually think this is a really nicely done scenery package. It's done by the same people who did the Gullknapp, Echo November Golf Kilo, which I'm not such a big fan of, because it just seems to be a massive scenery performance hog. I may be wrong, by the way, so if I am, I'm terribly sorry. Well, I still seem to have double buildings here. And I was fairly certain. I totally went in and excluded them earlier. Maybe it's in Norway GA, there's also more of these files. But anyway, as you can see, kind of a neat little airfield. I love the touches of the blue picnic benches here. They actually have blue picnic benches, I guess. It's kind of cool. Okay, anyways, so let's get back to taxiing like a proper pilot. Proper-ish pilot. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Sometimes I'm really confused. I wish there was some sort of visual debug tool in Prepared to let you understand what is happening, what costs what, like what files do you have loaded at the moment, for instance. Like that would be just really nice to see. And what footprint do they have in terms of VAS? What footprint do they have in terms of performance? Like an activity monitor for your sim, that would be wonderful. If someone wants to make that utility, I will buy it immediately. Okay, there we go. Let's try and not get hooked up on these benches. And we will, at this part, we'll depart east.
November Juliet Bravo traffic. Cessna November 905 Charlie Sierra taking off runway 36 east departure. Echo November Juliet Bravo.
Okay, we're lined up. Rich mixture again. Fuel pump. And off we go. knots, 70 knots, and we're airborne. Okay, and I'll do a little careful right hand turn here. So we retract our flaps. When you retract flaps or do anything of that nature in the skyline, you have to be on top of the plane because it will change its profile. Its vertical profile will change quite dramatically. Like it was climbing here, but you see how it's just sort of like it nosedived. But I adjusted the trim to compensate. But back to climb. We take the RPM down to about 90%. Did the same with the mixture. I think we'll even take the fuel pump out, and we'll take off the landing and taxi lights. And I will bring back the manifold pressure into the green arc here. This should still be a fair, should be climbing at a fair clip. Yeah, I like this preset that we have going. You see, there's a real there's some issues with the flatten too for this ENRY. Here, my kid, it needs some work, but it's pretty nice. I'm sure those are issues that can be sorted out. It's just that I'm not here often enough to deal with it. So I only notice it whenever I'm here, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that needs to be fixed, and then there's too many things to fix in the simulator, so I end up not fixing it. Anyways, I think this is a nice cruise altitude right here. So I live, personally, I just live right off the fjord here. This is the Oslo fjord. It's not as dramatic as the ones on the west coast, but it's still a fjord. Some tourists they're disappointed and they think they'll see a fjord when I see the Oslo fjord, but they have something different in mind. You only get that on the west coast, really, and to an extent up north. So, but I don't know. It's a lovely fjord too. It's got lots of little beaches and skerries and places to boat and that sort of stuff. It's a very recreational fjord, not so hardcore as some of these west coast fjords. So yeah, one thing I really like about it is, of course, all the boats, all the ships that you see, Henrik Nielsen's ships, that are fantastic. They are just fantastic. Really are something else. Love them. If I were to sort of switch to X-Plane or a different sim, I think they are, them and the Orbex packages are definitely what I would miss the most. It seems to me like X-Plane has decent scenery and other stuff, but it does not have AI ships, does it? And that's just such an, it's so lovely. It's just such immersion. I love it. Yeah, this is another thing I've been working on. I've really been annoyed with how my head moves with track IR, so I kind of dumbed down all the transition stuff, and I'm sort of doing that by chase plane now, because I don't know, the camera doesn't track very well with the clip being offset on my the right side of my head. It would, if I were to turn left, it would also move me forwards at the same time, which was annoying. And if I were to turn right, it would move me back at the same time. That would be annoying. So it moved me basically into the seat cushion or way into the way in front. So I don't know. I have a little bit reduced visibility now and reduced sort of chance of moving around to see around the post and stuff. But you know, I can always do that with the chase plane controls that I have also mapped to my joystick. So yeah, we're flying in low and slow, and we're coming into Moss, which is a big the city on the other side of the fjord here. You have Sandefjord on the west side. Well, yeah, it's Sandefjord down here, but and then you have Tønsberg up here, and then you have Moss up here, and then you have Sarpsborg and what's that? Whatever. Sarpsborg and Fredrikstad down here, and then there's Halden in here. But for all of those, it's just Rygge, which is the only airport. And it's kind of interesting. It's really nice. You see some greenery here shining through. It's quite accurate. It's warmer down here than it is in many other parts of the country. Even, I mean, I live also not far from the fjord. I live sort of just inside. I live like 300-400 meters from the fjord. And we just barely got our first snow of the year, which is highly unusual. Highly unusual. It's the first time that's happened in like 50 years or something, I think. But yeah, we will go. It's not unusual for there to not be snow here the whole winter. But to not have had any until now, that is very strange. But anyway, so here it's kind of, I think it's quite accurate what Orbex have done here. Not to mention, really nicely done, really pretty. You know, I am going to. I've been playing around with so many things, but one of the things is the object shadow cast distance. It's kind of disturbing when I turn around, and I don't think it really changed the frame rate. So here's the Rygge up here to our right. So I think what we're gonna do is we're going to contact them and ask for yeah, let's ask for touch and go.
Rygge Tower, Cessna, November 995, Charlie Sierra, 4 miles south of Rygge, 1700 for touch and go. Cessna, November 995, Charlie Sierra, Rygge Tower, flight left station, runway 30, altimeter 3080. Cessna, November 995, Charlie Sierra, wind call, cleared to land, runway 30. Cleared touch and go, runway 30, Cessna 5, Charlie Sierra.
Okay, runway 30, touch and go. I think, you know what I'm gonna try? I'm gonna try no flaps landing. I don't think I've ever tried that in this one, but I will do it because it's a really big runway. They land big jets here. So let's make it interesting, and I'll try something different. Look at that. I'm really happy with this new preset. Also, my frames are beautiful, but it might be just the lack of frames that we have going on here. But look at that. That's beautiful. The shading and everything. The cloud shadow and the tree shadows, and oh, great looking. Looks amazing. I really don't know what the landing speed is with no flaps, but I'm guessing it's somewhere around 80. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and go down and try and aim for the touchdown zone, and then just like gently add elevator until we stall and land. So I'm gonna float it a little bit because that's what I'm gonna do. At least that's my plan. And we'll see if I'm able to do it. That's a different thing. Yes. And landing light, come on. And let's put the taxi light on too. We did clear us in.
$500.
Yeah, you see here we are making 90, but we're kind of dropping. We are a little high though, so it's okay. Trim it out. Trim it out. Okay, here we go. 80 knots. We're heading for the touchdown zone. Beautiful. Cut the power. And elevator, 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 elevator. I'm holding it. Very nice. You can see Ryanair being lined up there to the left, even though they don't no longer fly here. This is an airports of Norway airport, and I do think it's actually really quite nicely done for what it is. Here's the old military part of it. I don't think they really use it anymore, but they used to fly freedom fighters out of here. Okay, before we move on, I kind of want to see that in instant replay. I thought that looked really nice, but I didn't even hear the nose wheel come down, so I kind of want to just see that. I want to see if I landed on my tail wheels first.
Don't sink.
Yeah, so I've been struggling recently with the blurries, and I kind of feel like they've gone away again, but
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
you see them when I change viewpoints like this.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
I always worry about.
Don't sink.
I always wonder about like what's the
Don't
best viewpoint from this.
Don't sink.
You can really see the
Don't sink.
photo reel that the
Don't
airports in
sink.
Norway put in.
Don't
It's
sink.
quite nice
Don't sink.
what they do.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Okay.
Don't sink.
That was like practically a 3-point landing. Well, that was so silky smooth. And it was right on the center line. Yeah, we're off a little bit here. But that's not half bad at all. That's actually pretty damn good, especially for me. Takeoff leads something to be desired. That's not safe. You know, but I wasn't paying attention. That's weird how the AI goes away too when you do that, but anyways, whatever. Okay, so I think what we'll do now is we'll get up to about you know what, let's fly up the fjord. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna turn off ultimate traffic 2, and I'm gonna start the live traffic, and I'm gonna show you how it works. So, but before we do that, I want to just like get the autopilot on. Put it in heading mode. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay. So first of all, I need to just stop ultimate traffic 2. End that task. Okay, cool. And then this is kind of convoluted, but it works. And bear with me. So what I need to do, I just need to find the correct tools. There's 2 tools I have to start. There's one that basically gets the traffic and outputs it to, yeah, I don't know, something on your computer. And then there's another tool that takes that traffic and injects it into the sim. So it's called real traffic for PSX, and I think PSX is some sort of like full level sim type of thing. And it gets it here and it sort of tries to get traffic, but it doesn't know where to get traffic from right now, so we need to use this thing called PSXeeconTraffic that hooks into this thing and prepared, and it tells us where we are, and then it goes ahead and it matches it up with the models I already have. So see, now it has 2 aircraft live, 0 parked. We can change the economy. It doesn't work. This doesn't work. Yeah, I can't change it. But anyway, it seems to work pretty well actually. So it basically downloads planes, but it goes live though, and the problem is that right now it's like 9:30. There shouldn't be that many around, but whatever. It's pretty nice the way it works. I'll show you some more. So if we go in here now and we go air traffic, you'll see 2 traffics. It's an Iberia and a Videra, but to make this complete, let's go to live ATC, and no, and we'll type in Echo November Golf M. What is my M, man? Gardermoen, and we'll play their ATC feed. And at this point, we will actually hear those planes that we now have in our sim communicate with the tower, at least to the extent that they do. So yeah, this is the Fjord, I think. Yeah, that's the drum. Let's see here. Let's do some geography while we're moving up. So personally, I live around here. This is the Fjord up here. Drammen is in here. So it's a huge, well, not a huge city, but it's a fairly big city. No, it's not up there. Drammen is in here. This here is, I think, Filtvet, which is a really cute little place. You can hear the planes talking now.
875, thanks for your help, sir. Have a good night.
875. I don't have it here. Oh yeah, I forget. So I use an FSU IPC. I use that to limit my traffic. I talked about that before. Really best way of limiting your traffic, by the way, if you use ultimate traffic 2 unprepared. it does seem to have an effect on this traffic. But the really good thing about this traffic is it really does not seem to impact your frames whatsoever. I'm trying to listen to hear some old call signs, but I guess we're only seeing the SAS 1488 close to us. But yeah, the sort of the long story is that there's lots of issues with this little program. The short story is that it's incredibly promising. Like if this works, I think it would be amazing. And when it works now, it is amazing, because you can literally hear them, direct them in, and you'll see them follow the instructions from the air traffic controller coming in. The only sort of bad thing is they can't hear you, right? So but it's really magical when it works, and you come in and you fly down and you see them and you can hear the planes, etc. It's very, very cool. So yeah, it seems like everything's a little jittery now, but I actually don't think it's the frame rate. I think it's the engine, and it is, of course, because I'm running it kind of hard. I forget myself here, but I'll reduce the manifold pressure to something more likable. We can bring the engine RPM down to about 75%. And we can lean the mixture here a little bit too. I bet you we can leave that bound to about 75–70%. And let's see if it's actually chase plane that's doing this. No, it's the engines. Yeah. Yeah, see if I take that down. It's a lot better. I do like it though. I really like how this works. So, yeah, down here is Sätre, I think, which is a cute little town. I know a lot of up here you see Drammen. This is the Drammen River is coming out over there, and then up here you'll find Oslo. Then there's this huge peninsula that kind of sticks out as a big sort of thumb. You'll see it in on the map here. It's called Nesodden, and it's connected. A lot of people commute by boat from the tip of Nesodden into Oslo instead of driving the whole 2 hours around. Yeah, I'll be off mic for a little bit, but I'll still be flying. But yeah, so this is Oslo up here. You'll see us. We'll fly in over Vollen, where I live, which is around here, and we'll fly in over Oslo and up to Gardermoen.
Oslo 648, over control, clear to gate, you count 300. I-7.
heading 310,
One 875, you're wing 4197. Thank you, goodbye.
I said 325, contact Norway 124.7. 47, I said 325. Scandinavian 4431, contact Oslo approach 120.45. 1045, 1044, sure.
Aerosoft 115, for those men at 395.
Yellow 1177 North Control, hello you.
ENTO, yeah, just to approach in time with you one day. Lock 4779, size for the keep it around.
Well, I'd like to do one follow the thing in the left one, so it's just help. Okay, the one back up. I can't really get the one back up, thank you.
Normal, that's 1 kilo, that's
0, 4,000 feet, direct north cleared, Ireland, 01 right, 1 travel. That's a fine, North Shore, 8 Charlie, bye. That was good, okay.
Okay, I am back and I have no idea where we are, but yeah. Let's see that I'm recording sound and everything. Yes, I am. Okay, we passed Gardermoen and we are at the southern end of Mjøsa, the biggest lake in Norway. Okay, so what we're going to do is take the autopilot out and head on back south. Clearly, yeah. So where we flew, where you guys flew, I had to go away. I had to help my had some things I had to do around the house. But where we flew was basically we flew up here. I left you roughly where I live, which is around here, near Vollen, Asker, Bærum, and we flew over the north woods, which are kind of a huge protected forest area outside of Oslo, and purely for sort of recreation. And we flew past and over all that, and we came out the other side over, what's this lake called again? Over this other lake and past Gardermoen. So, and the really neat thing is we're doing this with live traffic. So all these planes that we're seeing here are the planes that you've been hearing. Very neat, huh? And you can see them flying the procedures here. You can see them flying the Star, the Vemmen and Atlap and all these other approaches. They're flying all the approaches that they should be flying, which is very cool. You can see them all coming in. I just think I need to sort of update the range or something of this tool, because I want to have more of these. So yeah, let's try and make a plan for how to approach this. Love the vertical obstructions, I've talked about that before. One of the approaches going into Oslo comes down, this lake is called Hurdal. One of the better approaches, I think, coming into Gardermoen actually comes in from, if you come in from Bergen, it goes down this Hurdal lake and you sort of intercept and land to the south, the 19, 19 right or 19 left.
01, taxi stanna 836, godnatt.
Okay, so let's try and sort of listen into what they are saying at the ATC so we can find out which air. As you can see, the frames are staying consistently pretty high, even with all this traffic. It's a very, I think one of my favorite things about this traffic tool is it seems very light on frames. Yeah, so see here's you see there's a plane up there, and let's find out which one that is.
Heading to 80, scanner.
Maybe I have to go into traffic mode to be able to click it, but you can click it, I think. You can't, I guess. Okay. I take it back. I thought you could see the call signs. You cannot. But what is neat is if I go to... where'd you go? Here you go. If I go to my browser and I go to Flight Radar 24, and we track it, and we can look here and we can find out which one it is.
Heading 340, clear on right, speed 180,
so it's probably this one, Nox 6838. And here it is. It's a Norwegian plane. Right after turning left over Hurdal. We're back here somewhere. Really cool, I think, the way that works.
Good evening, we are grounding 17210 inbound Dalton.
See, that's the sky, and we're here. It's just very cool how it all lines up.
300 AG
I wish there was slightly higher volume on this radio transmission. It's hard to hear. Maybe if I open the volume mixer, I can... Well, I don't know how that works for you, but for me I can hear it slightly better there. But I think it just made everything slightly louder. So, Gardermoen is also an Aerosoft scenery, and I don't know, it's in some ways it's not the most exciting scenery there is for Norway, but I just think it's such a nicely done place, and it's got these really sort of kind of almost epic like sort of approaches, especially when you're in the MFG X or something like that, and you come in and descend over the mountain and you come through these mountains. It's a little it's very safe though, in a sense, like you're far away from everything, but it's quite beautiful, especially if you're coming in at dusk or some other interesting time of day. Very, very neat. So I think what we'll be doing here is I'm trying to just sort of almost approach this as a regular old traffic pattern. Really, of course, I'm in the control airspace thing here now, so 2005 to surface. I'm actually okay, but we'll try and heading sort of 190 here, which should be more or less parallel to the runway as far as I remember. Runway 19 and left and right, and 01 right and left. So we'll probably aim to get into on the runway 01 right. I'm kind of remembering now that we're missing out on a couple of airfields. There's Kjeller airfield, which is south over here in Ylesburg, which is the main sort of GA airfield around Oslo. But I might make a separate stream out of that, just because I'm kind of excited to show you this live traffic business in more detail. So if you look at it now, still only 5 aircraft live. See, this has been a little weird to me. This how this works. I'm supposed to have also a lot of parked aircraft.
Sky 324 Norway Control, traffic 320 direct to Bulls.
320 direct to Bulls, Gardermoen.
Yeah, so here's the airport on our left. See, there's not that many aircraft down there. That's kind of the downside of this. The upside is this movement that they're doing in the air. So the upside is the movement in the air, not on the ground. But I'm a little surprised at how this works now, because it should be. I should have more parked. At least I had more parked earlier. I don't know how it says type destination code. There's no way of typing in anything here. Anyways, whatever. And this is kind of, right now, this is really annoying because it's supposed to be more than this. If you can see here, there's a lot more. And then there is so right now there is only 3 traffics. Total traffic in area 2. Disable PSX traffic injection. Maybe that's what's wrong here. That was typed on. I end up doing a lot of error, a lot of sort of troubleshooting while I'm doing this, don't I? But yeah, I guess that's not it. Anyways, earlier today I was able to get lots of traffic, but maybe that it was just earlier. But I'm a little sort of confused at why I'm getting 15 here and I'm getting 1 here. That doesn't make sense to me. And of course it's one that doesn't really even have the right repaint, which is very annoying. One thing I will say is that there's something about it, they don't move right. Like, they seem slewed. They don't fly. You can see just the way they accelerate there. Ultimate Traffic does a better job of that, but that's that's okay. Like, that's it's not why I'm showing this to you. It's not because I think it's better. I just think it's more interesting, and I think it's an amazing. Once it works, this will be incredible. Once they get this working, once they iron the kinks out of this thing, it will be an incredible tool. But I think at this point we should be able to hear him talking, at least. This time I'll do a flaps 20 landing. Oh, it's the limited range thing. That's probably what's going on here. I turned limited range on and it's cutting. Oh, let's see if that's what it is. I don't understand all the options of this program, as you can tell.
$500.
Okay, let's stop messing about. Let's just land this plane. There we are. And flare, nice and soft. So this is Aerosoft's Gardermoen, and it's a real good airport. I like it. It's fairly decent on frames, fairly decent on VAS. All in all, it's pretty damn good. It's got some small issues, but it also has some really sort of cool little. When they designed it, they did some cool things. It's Ireland's design. And, first of all, he designed it with all the current terminals. There's a new terminal here, but when you taxi around, there's like little dips between some of the taxiways. It sort of goes down, especially on the other side. It's very nice and realistic looking. It's got all the different kinds of gates. You can see people inside the terminal. It's got the glass. Yeah, it's very nicely done. I am a big fan. And it's, yeah, no, it's frame rate friendly. There was a lot of issues with it just around a year ago or two ago, but he delivered a lot of small fixes, because I think this was designed before prepared became the norm, and there were a lot of sort of prepared fixes that needed to be done. If there's one thing I don't like, it's I don't like the ground vehicle so much, but look at this. You can see inside. It's kind of neat. Nicely done. People sitting there, and I mean, there should be more people, I guess, but it's not half bad, all things considering. Well, anyway, I finally made it out of Torp to Gardermoen. And I think before this won't be I'll come back to Gardermoen, because I want to do some more GA flying around this area, and I will do that, and I'll come back here and exchange and get into a Q400 and go up to Røros and some other neat places. Yeah, let's see if we can see anything. I think we may have just sort of lost the flights. It's actually quite late. I've just sort of set the time to daytime so we can see what's going on. But yeah, let's see what we can see here. So we have this guy. This is a Norwegian flight. You can see that from the code. I don't know where you are yet. Oh, he's coming into land, I think. Would this be... Yeah, this is downtown Oslo down here. Barcode, that sort of stuff. So he's an AX779. So if you go to... He's just sort of north of Oslo right now. It's this guy, NX779. He's coming from Trondheim. You see he's coming around the... coming in the star. So I mean, just that's pretty neat, right? You see him here, an NX779. He's in a left turn. And I bet you will soon be hearing him on the he's right over Ylesburg right now, which is the area north of Oslo, which you can totally recognize. There's a big brewery there, which is this, obviously this, right over it. Well, I guess in the sim he's here, and the tracker he's here. He's a little ahead on the tracker, slightly ahead. See, to his other side is Lillestrøm, which is kind of like an extension of Oslo. And yeah, Norshol 7979. Did you hear that? So he's coming in over Skedsmokorset now, which is this that you're seeing right below it. Oh, see, there's a little thing. That correction, it's happening kind of totally live, isn't it? Yeah, I see the corrections. That's what I'm talking about, is they're not flying. They're definitely being slewed, you know? And here's the Scandinavian machine, the 4479. I mean, this is pretty cool. This is fun even just for watching. Okay, so he's coming in on 01 right. 4479, that's this guy. You also see it does sort of weird things with the speed. I think obviously now the speed has gone down. It was doing 2 something just recently, and but it's not that even. It seems a little fake almost. Also, it's very high. It's 1,800 feet. It says it's right before it's supposed to land. I have a feeling this is going to calibrate quickly. Aye. See, there you go. It lost. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's just, it's not perfect. So he's coming in from the north. That's the Scandinavian machine that's about to land. Next 779, that's gone. 4479, though, that's still coming in. 4479. We'll follow him in. I just do want to watch a full landing here. Yeah, so here's the Videre flight coming in around here this way. So on is SAS flight coming from London, Paris, Bardufoss. And just to be clear, like what I think is so awesome is how it matches up with the ATC streams. I think that's awesome, and I also think it's awesome because it kind of gives you very customized traffic without having to mess with any files. That's also incredible. You just need to match the models up to what they are in real life, and that program takes care of the rest. No schedules, which is incredible. Really weird to have no sound here, huh? So we made it to wheels down. We should have an airplane taking off over here. Yeah, see, there we go. There he goes. You see him as he's a little behind. And we have another one taxiing. 779. See him there. See, once again, it's like the altitude here is a little off. Ground speed is probably more correct, but I doubt that this is correct at this point. It's about 600-700 feet too high. Ah, we lost them, see? Weird. Well, we have this one. It's back. Taxiing like a crazy person. So yeah, it's kind of it's a really intriguing product.
7,1039
Not ready for prime time, but pretty damn cool. Where? Oh yeah, he's going in here. Yeah. So see, he's gonna go park down by these gates. These are the shittiest gates in Oslo. You also see here he's kind of off. He's not exactly tracking the center line. And then he's doing like this weird power slide as he's going around the bend here. Yeah, I wonder how good this can be without adding some smoothing. I think that's why the frames are so good, is because it's just basically putting raw coordinates in from directly from live ATC, or whatever the source feed is called. But I think as simmers we want something a little bit smoother than this. We don't want our planes to be skidding around the runway like this. That doesn't look quite right. Here's 4479. It's totally, look at him go. That's very, very cool. Cool way to taxi. I like it. And see, here comes the Scandinavian machine. But yeah, here she is on the ground. It would be definitely better though if there was some sort of smoothing or something to make this more predictable. I love this though. I can just pick them off like that, and I find them. Fascinating. Maybe I'm more fascinated about this than most, but I don't know. I think this is an awesome. This is an awesome beginning of something new. That's gonna be fantastic. If Ultimate Traffic 2 comes out with the live product, I am getting it. I am subscribing to it. Whatever this is, it's a killer product for me. Especially if it can be networked and run as smoothly as this or something. It's pretty cool. Let's see if we can actually see a landing here for once. I do find it a little disconcerting that don't lower flaps or anything. Of course with Ultimate Traffic 2 they do. After it's landing, I'm gonna turn this off and turn back on Ultimate Traffic 2 and you can see the difference. It's much more convincing looking. And they don't do. Yeah, see, it's a weird landing, and then it speeds up. Okay, let's try and get rid of this, and let's get rid of this, and let's turn back Ultimate Traffic 2.
Ultimate Traffic 2 initialized. The biggest difference immediately will be the airport. Which will be populated by a ton of jets, all in the right spot. Apart from my Herculeses, which I sort of somehow have never been able to sort of totally figure out. But yeah, it's full of planes anyway. I got the little Vider dash 8s on the end of the pier here, where they're supposed to be. All that sort of stuff. Very cool. But then I have to try and find something that's supposed to land, and that can be a little harder. Let's see. It's be really cool to find something on approach because I just want to show you the difference. he is probably on approach. But he's far away. Yeah, he's coming in over Hönefoss. But this guy. I'm not able to figure out where he is. That was an OOM ding, if you didn't notice. But I mean, it's not so weird after having loaded so many models. Let's see what we have here. We can probably be able to find. Okay, so they're landing the wrong direction, first of all. Let's see, and let's go ahead and we'll get a world camera thing going here. See if we can't intercept this landing. You'll see the difference that we have on these with the ultimate traffic too. You see we got full flaps going out here. So the red vast thing is, and look at this, I just want to show you this. I think there wasn't really a crab going on here because there's not much of a crosswind going on, but it's a very nice landing. Spoilers engage. It's nicely done. She flies like a plane. So yeah, very, very cool. I really do think Ultimate Traffic 2 is a great product. And they do fly at least real routes, even if they don't fly at SIDS and stars. So as a bonus, you get to see a little. This is my first camera, first roll camera that I made in chase plane. I think they even lower flaps on takeoff. I've resized all the liveries of my AI aircraft, by the way, to save mass, so that's why you sort of see them. They're a little blurry. I really find it makes no difference. I can't see because normally you're at least this far away from them, and they look totally fine, even if they're 512. Okay, give me some flaps, yeah? Just a little bit. No. I like chase plane. It's a fun little product to use. But see, you see how she flies? How the wind sort of catches her, and very cool. Anyways, guys, that's I think that's it for tonight. Thanks so very much for watching. As you can see, our tires are still fine, but they need replacing still. Anyways, if you like what you see, leave a comment, leave a like. If you have any tips about how to run the traffic program better, then give me those tips. You know, I'm glad you guys stopped by. Stop by again. Okay, bye bye.